2 members on the Fire Authority since 2009. The Fire Authority, like all the public sector, has had to face huge funding cuts since 2010. In 2014-15, for example, there was 2.3 million cuts, and in 2015-16, there's proposed cuts are 2.8 million. This has meant taking very tough decisions year in and year out. I've tried hard not to oppose for the sake of opposition, but to act responsibly and constructively. Mr Mayor, I raised several issues of concern in May when this first came to the Fire Authority, such as the rescue tents at Grays are very well used, so why was it being removed? Would all the equipment, such as the working platform, the railway tracks, etc., that are specific to the tender, be available to firefighters on other appliances without the loss of any other equipment on those appliances? Grays, as we all know, and whole of Thurrock, is different from the rest of Essex. There are 5 covert sites in Grays area alone, another 3 elsewhere in Thurrock, and 13 across the county of Essex. I asked the Fire Authority to ensure wide consultation had taken place, and since the meeting itself, I have spoken to more firefighters from Grays, and it's clear to me that we need to strongly fight these changes. I would ask the Council to support this motion unanimously to strengthen the position of both myself and Councillor Kelly when it comes to fighting for Grays. And finally, I would like to thank Councillor Kelly for his support, and I'm extremely grateful for him for seconding this motion. I hope all members will be able to support it.
Motion. It's on the face of it, the proposals are going to put at risk not only Thurrock residents, but those travelling through Thurrock, and of course the brave firefighters who will be the first on scene. I will make it clear though, whilst I do not doubt the information supplied by firefighters and Mr Adams to all members, is correct, because of course they are the guys and the women at the sharp end of this. They need to know, they need the tools to do the job, and they know what tools they need to do the job. However, I do feel it's a little bit one-sided if we've not had anything from the Chief Fire Officer. I would as such ask that before the Chief Fire Officer reconsiders his decision, that he make himself available to either the relevant Overview Scrutiny Committee here, or indeed the full Council. The Chief Constable of Essex Police regularly makes himself available. Why shouldn't the Chief Fire Officer? This is a taxpayers-funded service. He should be held account to the way he wishes to spend the money that he's been given by the taxpayer, and he should do it here. As I say, I will be supporting this. It is the right thing, I believe, to do, and I think the Chief Fire Officer will have some explaining to do should he appear. Thank
Today, in fact, the motion is fully agreement with both MPs here as well, and everything we can do actually to make this happen and actually try and get some sort of the Chief Fire Officer here, both local members of Parliament and hopefully this whole Council tonight will be forcefully trying to campaign for this, because it's not appropriate. There is, like just been said, there's so many coma sites here without a good reason, and at this time I haven't seen a good reason why they're doing this, and let's get the Chief Fire Officer here to ask him that good reason.
Supporting this this evening. I'd hope he'd go to Mr Cameron and ask him to give the Essex Fire and Rescue Service some more money so they can actually provide this service, because unfortunately, Councillor Foxall, that's where the problem lies.
I really do find it quite offensive that on such a serious issue as this, we're talking about the residents of Thurrock, we're talking about their care and concern, and we are united, it would appear across the chamber. And I do find it quite frustrating that any opportunity which is taken to talk about a subject which is irrelevant actually to the specifics, I think is a really good motion. I will certainly be supporting it, but I really do wish we could keep this all on a mature and articulate platform instead of always individuals or an individual seeking to exploit political points. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Say I also support the motion, but like Councillor Wharton, it is very disappointing that some people in this chamber, the usual offenders, seek to make going out here, especially coming from somebody who, when he was on the police authority, voted to abolish the police mounted division and claimed a disgusting amount in expenses when travelling to police duties. We on this side None, not a penny. So we've actually taken the subject very seriously. We don't use our position to claim thousands of pounds in expenses, like Councillor Rice did. Perhaps he could show some maturity on this debate. Thank you.
Yeah, I will respond to that. With respect, every penny I claimed was asked by the county treasurer.
Can we move on with this really short of time, please?
No, Mr. Mayor. And I will ask Councillor Maney to take that back.
I think you've made your point. It's a pity that I weren't able to answer the question that was going to be asked earlier, because that would have given members some further information. We do actually have the report from the fire officers, and based on their information, what my answer was roughly going to be is, when you actually look at what they're talking about taking the rescue tender out of Grey Station and replacing it with another unit. Now, please remember, I am not an expert and I haven't really had a long time to actually study this, but on the face of it, that looked a proposal that you could live with. It's just changing one unit for a different unit. But then you actually looked at what they were proposing, which was the cut of 12 men to our Grays fire station. That then gave me cause for concern, because what we would actually have, we would have a station at Grays that has 4 units parked in it, but only crews for 2. The other 2 units would be jump crew. One of them would have been an aerial ladder, and then they've got a water bowser and they've got special water units. So it depends on what the type of incident is as to what fire engine goes out. We would have this silly situation that we would end up with crews for only 2 fire engines. So we'll be supporting this motion. It does need to be carefully looked at. We do have quite a number of coma sites that are here. And not only do we have the coma sites, we have the M25 that goes through the middle of us. And I think only last week we had a number of accidents that occurred there, which actually involved the emergency services being out there. And I think something that people maybe are not aware of, the diesel spill that occurred on the A13, the emergency services were so stretched that we had to use our council employees to put the road diversions in and help with the emergency services. So all of these services are stretched, and to do this, I think, is a step too far.
Mr Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Kent, for giving me the opportunity to support this motion. I've done plenty of research on this current set of circumstances, with plenty of help from the Essex County Fire and Rescue Service and from information given to me by firefighters at Grays. Given Thurrock's unique setup, I thought it was important to support this motion with a view to again look at the plans put forward by the Essex County Fire and Rescue Service. The plan changes are set to take place sometime in 2015, so hopefully this will give Thurrock Council, including its 2 members on the Fire Authority, time to ask some important questions in relation to firefighter and appliance numbers in Grays. Although some assurances have already been given to me by the Essex County Fire and Rescue Service, there are still some questions I'd like answered before we can support the removal of firefighter appliances and a reduction of service personnel per watch from Grays Fire Station. The Essex County Fire and Rescue Service does have big challenges ahead, and I thought it was taking the best approach to dealing with these cutbacks by trying to promote a more efficient service, and in doing this it should help maintain firefighting numbers and prevent the loss or closure of more fire stations across Essex. However, Thurrock is unique in relation to the number of high-risk industries it has, and therefore it's absolutely imperative that Thurrock contains its firefighting capabilities. Now, I would have liked to have left party politics out of this motion, however, once again, disappointingly, the issue has been raised by Councillor Rice. Now, I had a feeling that there might have been a bit of a political point scoring going on, so I've done a little bit of research as to what exactly would a possible future Labour government do. And my findings are that the current cuts imposed by the coalition government are exactly the same as a possible future Labour government. But don't take my word for that. Take the word of Labour MP Lynn Brown, who's an MP from West Ham, and she's also Shadow Fire Minister for the opposition. In the last few months, she's made a number of public statements to a number of different media outlets. One outlet stated, and I quote, "When pressed on the matter of fire service cuts, Shadow Fire Minister Lynn Brown confirmed that Labour would not restore the funding to the fire service if they form the next government." A few weeks later, to another media outlet, she stated, and I quote, Lynn Brown, Shadow Fire Minister, made it clear to me that if Labour was to win the next general election, there would be no further funding for the fire service. So before Councillor Rice gives us a difficult time, a so-called nasty party, I would suggest he saves his energy and points his anger towards his own representatives in the Labour hierarchy.
Now, I was going to end it there, but I'm not going to end it there because this is a positive motion, and I do feel that the only way we're going to actually get a movement on this is by working together, and I look forward to working with Councillor Kent over the next few months. And again, I'd like to thank Cathy Kent for allowing me to support the motion. Thank you very much.
For supporting this motion tonight. I'm aware that we did have some firefighters in the gallery this evening, and I'd like to express our thanks for all their commitment every time they go out to a call. I know some of the race firefighters were in the gallery earlier. I'd like to thank again Councillor Kelly for supporting this motion, and if Council would like, invite at the moment it's the Acting Chief Officer to come to Council meeting in the future if that's what Councillors would like. And I move the motion. Thank you, Mr Mayor.